When did you realize your friends were actually fake friends? Hey friends, could you do me a favor and take 2 seconds to like this video by giving it a big thumbs up? Also, consider clicking the red subscribe button down below if you'd like to see more videos. Thanks. Finding out they have an inner circle group chat, but I'm the only one not in it. Same. I found out that they had 2 groups, one with me and one without. They never used the one with me though. Yeah, for every group chat, there is a mini group chat without all the annoying people. If you don't believe it, then I've got some bad news for you. When my phone got stolen and I lost their phone numbers, mine stayed the same, but we just never talked again. Sad face. Oh no, I think I might have fake relatives. I was invited to the bachelorette party for one of the friends in this group. While at the party, I figured out that I was the only person not invited to the wedding. I had been invited to the party because they needed another person to chip in for expenses. Apparently, I didn't realize I was on a different tier of friendship with my so-called friend. My friend was getting married and I didn't get an invite, which was fine since her wedding was a destination wedding in a different country. I attended a sleepover party, which she hosted. There was about 9 girls there in total. They kept talking about the kick-ass bachelorette party, and then started showing photos of the crazy party. I realized I was the only one not invited. Made me feel kind of crummy. One friend stopped replying to my texts right after we graduated from college. Like, the same week we graduated. So, I was pretty much just a study buddy that they kept close to keep me helping them. Same thing happened to me. Was friends with so many people during college, and the last 3 weeks was an unpaid work placement, which we had to go back to the school to hand in our paperwork. Not one of them spoke to me, or would even answer me if I said something to them. Became clear that I was only valuable to them when I was helping them. Class awards had me down as most willing to help classmates. Edit. Thank you for the award. Edit 2. OMG. Thank you all so much for the awards. Never expected this to blow up when I posted. I wouldn't say I have fake friends, but I am definitely the periphery friend. The majority of the time, if there isn't enough tickets or space in the car for everyone to go do something, I'm the one who gets cut out. It doesn't bother me much, but I wish they would be more mindful when talking to me about things we have done. Remember when we went to see XXX? Wasn't that fun? Well, no, because I wasn't invited. In those situations it usually gets awkward. Or they say, hey, we would have invited you if we had the tickets, space, etc. After my divorce, we were couples friends, not individually. Same for me. My ex was crazy abusive, and I had proof, and most of our friends took the I'm not taking sides stance. Well, here's the surprise. Not taking sides is siding with the abuser. Especially because when they say, I'm not taking sides, what they mean is, I don't care what your ex did, I'm staying friends with him. My wife and I separated, and she got the majority of our friends. Almost nobody checked in on me to see how I was doing. Then, we decided to work it out and stay together. And now there's a whole list of people's birthdays I don't have to remember. This was quite a few years ago. My ex and I were really friendly with another couple. Did a ton of stuff together. Then they moved, not far, and fairly shortly after my ex and I separated. They hung out with me for a few months, but then stopped calling. A few years later, I ran into both of them at a race, an ultramarathon, and they both pretended like they didn't know me. That was actually a really painful moment. The group made plans to meet and hang out. I was getting ready in the salon. A couple of friends had to back out for some reason. The other friend then made excuses of his own, and I could tell. I tried cajoling him and offer ways for him to go, but he basically decided to cancel the entire group meetup. It was my birthday. Same thing happened to me on my 21st birthday. All my friends made up excuses why they couldn't come. Then the 3 friends that did met some guys, and we went back to their house and awkwardly sat around. Happened again for my 25th birthday. I had moved across the country and found new friends, but they all bailed at the last minute. I called my roommate at the time, who came out when he got off work, and he called some of his friends who came out, and I had the best night ever. Those guys are now my real friends, and I married that roommate. When they stopped contacting me when I stopped drinking, I feel this. Used to have countless friends, went out all the time, lost control of myself and quit. Friends stopped calling. Now I'm a weird eccentric who hangs out in the woods in all my free time. Things are better this way. I have a couple friends who stuck around, and the girl of my dreams. That's all I need. When you stop going to the bar, you no longer exist to those who live that life. It messed with my head for a while, but I get it now. Once high school ended, I heard about all the rumors they made up about me. The hell do you mean by rumors? What kind? Why? I have so many questions. Well, they told people that I was addicted to drugs. I was smoking pot, but nothing harder than that. But they were the reason I got drug tested at school. They said that I was a whore because my friend's boyfriend was my best friend, and she wanted me to stop hanging around him, and that I was fat and pregnant. I literally weighed less than 115 pounds. High school sucks. Just a bunch of children trying to be better than everyone else. Whenever we were supposed to hang out, something came up, and that something was hanging out with other mutual friends. Yes, my best friend in high school used to do this to me all the time. On Wednesday, I'd ask if she wanted to see a movie Friday night. She'd always say maybe, if I can get out of doing whatever with my parents. Come Monday, I'd hear her talking about how great the movie was. Apparently, last minute her parents said she didn't have to go, and miraculously, a group of people called right then and asked her to see the same movie. She'd always say, "I figured you made other plans," when I confronted her about it. In reality, she'd just wait to see what the better option was, and pick on Friday. God, that pissed me off. When I was in school, all my friends and I did different A-levels. Despite us all having different lessons to each other, they would wait for each other to go to lunch together. But they would always forget me. Like, I'd come out and they wouldn't be there, so I'd have lunch by myself. And then, they'd come back and tell me they thought I was with them. I was the only one they didn't wait for. I've only seen one of them since we left school. She had forgotten my name. So, that sucked. My friends from high school all unfollowed me when I graduated college. I'm the only one who no longer lives in our hometown. Consider that a badge of honor. This friend, I'll call her Mary, had kids the same age as mine. We got together for play dates pretty often, and our kids would sleep over at each other's houses for weekends. I liked Mary. We would often visit and talk while our kids were playing. One weekend, her kids had stayed at my house. The older one called her mom to see when she was coming to pick her up. I was in the room, and the kid put the phone on speaker. For some reason, Mary told the kid what time she would be there and added, "You had better be waiting outside. If I have to go in and spend the next hour talking to River Tam, I'm going to be really pissed." We didn't spend much time together after that. Edit. I'm getting a lot of similar questions and comments, so I'll add an edit here. Instead of writing the same answer a dozen times. Did I overreact? Was Mary just having a bad day and not want to talk? And, my personal favorite, River Tam, maybe you're just insufferable? Here's what happened after I overheard my friend say that to her child. I simply stopped initiating contact, and wasn't as available to do stuff for her. When we dropped off or picked up the kids, I smiled and waved. I let the kids make the plans for play dates. I no longer had time to help her with her garden, or watch her kids while she went out with another friend. They were into long distance running, which is not my cup of tea. She never contacted me, unless she wanted something. This had always been true, but I had not realized it. The friendship eventually fizzled out on its own. So, I guess it had never been much of a friendship to begin with. I just didn't realize it until she opened my eyes. I was at a party, really depressed after a bad breakup, and got drunk. My abusive ex showed up, caught me somewhere alone, and hit me. I begged several friends for help, since I was too drunk to drive home alone, and they ignored me. My ex-best friend was there, completely sober, and refused to drive home with me, because she didn't believe he would do that. There's no Uber or anything in my country, by the way. The whole thing escalated. One guy I didn't know ended up finding me alone in a field crying and throwing up, brought me back to the house, build a bed out of blankets for me, and sat guard all night to make sure my ex wouldn't do anything again. When I traded in my truck for a smaller, more eco-friendly vehicle, communication plummeted now that I can't haul furniture around, assist with moving as much, dispose of garbage, etc. Some people just use you for the stuff you have, and that is the worst type of people ever. I flew out to support a friend going through a messy divorce. While I was there, she left me in the apartment to meet up with her boyfriend that I didn't know about. He turned out to have just been released from prison for manslaughter. Once she told me that, I told her that I didn't want to spend time with him, especially considering the circumstances of my visit. The next night, I woke up in the middle of the night to find him in the living room. She said that she thought it wouldn't matter since I was asleep. The next day, she invited her soon-to-be ex-husband over without telling me, and then asked me to meditate their conversation once he got there. That conversation turned ugly fast, and she ended up storming out. He broke down and asked if I thought it was salvageable, and I told him that she had already moved on. Maybe not the best idea on my part, but at that point, she had shown me how vile of a person she is. Went to pick up my Xbox 360 a friend was borrowing, and our whole group of friends were there. They had spent the entire day playing games, with snacks and pizza, and I had not been invited. And now, I was in the situation of being the douche who takes the ball home and ruins the fun for everyone. I took my Xbox, and never spoke to anyone in that group again. Wait. They borrowed your Xbox to have a gaming party, without you? What the ever-loving F? Okay, those guys are slime, and you are so better off without such morally bankrupt dickwads. Even if the very worst case scenario is that there's something about your personality that doesn't jibe with the rest of them, you lent your friend your gaming console in good faith, in the spirit of genuine friendship. Taking advantage of that is scummy. Better you find out that they're scum now, than keep investing in a dead end of putzery. When my longtime friend called me and said, "Hey, can you hang out? No one else can." When they didn't wait for me whilst I did my shoelaces. This is a good post, because it has the potential to help a lot of people. In college, I remember hanging out with a group of people, like the ones on this thread. They were also my roommates for 3 years. Every year, we'd throw a fun party for everyone's birthday, but mine. They didn't even know when mine was. After I graduated and looked back on it, I realized they were never my friends. I don't even hear from them anymore. I spent 4 years socializing with the wrong people, and if I had just hung out with the people that I had led to believe were nerds or annoying, or who I had more things in common with, I would likely have had a much more fun time in undergrad. Good thing I have much better friends than just the ones I made back then.